You have felt it your entire life, even when you didn't have the words to explain it. There was always something different about the way you walked through the world. While others blended into the crowd, you stood out without even trying. While others followed the noise of the world, something deep inside you kept pulling you in another direction. You tried to ignore it. You tried to live a normal life. But the truth kept returning, whispering to your spirit over and over again. You were never meant to be ordinary. With pressure of life felt too heavy. Doors closed in front of you that should have opened. People doubted you, misunderstood you, even turned their backs on you when you needed them most. At times it seemed like the world was testing every ounce of your strength. But what you didn't realize then is that every challenge was shaping you into living evidence of something greater. Every struggle was carving out space for a story that would prove to the world that miracles still exist. You see, the path of the chosen has never been easy. It has always been filled with trials that others cannot understand. When people look at your life from the outside, they only see the battles, the loneliness, the delays. They don't see the invisible hand that has been guiding you through every storm. They don't see the countless times you should have fallen, but somehow stood back up again. They don't see the quiet strength that kept growing inside you when everything around you said you should give up. And yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still moving forward. That alone is proof that something extraordinary is happening in your life. Think about everything you have survived. Think about the moments when it felt like the world was closing in on you. The sleepless nights, the silent prayers, the questions you carried in your heart when nothing seemed to make sense. There were times when it felt like your voice disappeared into the sky without an answer. Those moments, something unseen was working behind the scenes, preparing a future that would be far greater than anything you could imagine. Your journey is not random. Your survival is not an accident. Your existence is a message to the world. You are living proof that the impossible can become possible. The world is filled with people who believe limits define their destiny. They believe their past decides their future. They believe their pain disqualifies them from greatness. But your story stands in direct contradiction to that belief. Every time you rise again after being pushed down, you break the illusion that circumstances control everything. Every time you choose faith instead of fear, you remind the universe that hope is stronger than doubt. There is a reason your life has been filled with moments that others cannot explain. There is a reason you have felt protected even when everything around you looked dangerous. There is a reason your heart refuses to give up, even when logic says you should walk away. You carry something within you that cannot be destroyed, and that is exactly why your life matters more than you realize. The world needs examples of resilience. The world needs reminders that divine purpose still moves through ordinary-looking people, not through perfect lives, but through lives that have been broken, tested, and rebuilt stronger than before. That is why your journey has unfolded the way it has. Every tear, every setback, every unexpected twist has been part of a larger design that is slowly revealing itself. You were never meant to prove your worth to the world. You were meant to reveal what is possible when divine purpose touches a human life. Every step you take forward becomes evidence that faith is real. Every obstacle you overcome becomes a testimony that strength can rise from weakness, and every dream that begins to awaken inside you becomes another signal that something greater is unfolding. Many people are still searching for proof that miracles exist. They are looking for signs, waiting for extraordinary events, hoping to see something that restores their belief in what is possible. But the truth is far more powerful than they realize. The proof is not somewhere far away. You have felt it your entire life. Even when you didn't have the words to explain it, there was always something different about the way you moved through the world. Even when you were surrounded by people, there was a quiet awareness inside you that your path was not the same as everyone else's. Others seemed comfortable, following routines, repeating the same patterns, chasing the same goals. But deep inside, something in you kept whispering that your life carried a different kind of purpose. There were moments when you tried to ignore that feeling. You tried to blend in. You tried to silence that inner voice that kept telling you that your story would not look ordinary. Yet no matter how hard you tried, life kept reminding you that you were walking a path designed with unusual challenges and unusual lessons. Situations appeared that tested your patience, your strength, and your faith. You faced moments where the weight of the world seemed to rest entirely on your shoulders. Sometimes it felt unfair. Sometimes you wondered why your journey seemed harder than the paths of the people around you. You watched others move forward easily, while you were forced to climb through storms that never seemed to end. The doors closed in front of you that should have opened. Opportunities slipped away just when they seemed within reach. People misunderstood you, questioned you, and occasionally walked away from you when you expected them to stay. Yet even during those painful seasons, something unusual kept happening. You kept surviving. You kept standing back up after moments that should have broken you. When life pushed you down, something within you quietly gathered the strength to rise again. When disappointment surrounded you, a small spark inside your spirit refused to go out. Even when you felt exhausted and uncertain, there was always a part of you that believed your story was not finished yet. That resilience did not come from nowhere. It was planted within you long before you understood what it meant. Your journey has always been different because your life was never meant to follow the predictable script that most people accept. The challenges you faced were not random obstacles. They were shaping something inside you that the world would eventually recognize as rare strength. Each trial carved deeper patience into your spirit. Each betrayal sharpened your wisdom. Each lonely moment strengthened your connection to something greater than the visible world. People often believe that purpose arrives through comfort, but the truth is far more powerful. Purpose is often forged through pressure. Diamonds are formed deep beneath the earth where heat and weight transform something ordinary into something extraordinary. Your life has carried that same kind of pressure, not to destroy you, but to reveal what you were truly made of. Think back to the moments when you believed you had reached your limit, the nights when your thoughts were heavy and chent. Do your heart felt tired from carrying questions that had no answers? You searched for clarity. You searched for reassurance that your struggles meant something. And even when the answers did not appear immediately, you continued forward, one small step at a time. That quiet persistence is part of the evidence that your life carries meaning beyond what most people see. Many people quit the moment life becomes difficult. Many turn away from their path when the road becomes uncertain. But something within you refused to surrender to that darkness. Even when you doubted yourself, you still moved forward. Even when fear whispered that you were alone, your spirit continued searching for light. Your existence has already proven something powerful. You have walked through storms that were meant to stop you, yet you are still here. You have faced moments designed to weaken your faith, yet your spirit continues to rise. Every challenge you survived added another layer to the message your life carries. Every obstacle you overcame became another piece of evidence that strength can grow in the most unexpected places, while others measure success only through comfort and easy victories. Your story reveals a deeper truth about perseverance. Your life demonstrates that human potential does not appear when everything is easy. It appears when someone refuses to give up, even when the odds seem impossible. It appears when someone continues believing that their journey has meaning, even when the path is unclear. And somewhere within the quiet details of your story, a powerful message has been forming, one that the world will eventually see through the courage you continue to carry forward every single day. The world often measures possibility by what it can see. People look at circumstances, resources, and past results, then decide what they believe can or cannot happen. They build invisible limits around their lives and convince themselves those limits are permanent. Many grow comfortable inside those boundaries. accepting the idea that certain dreams are simply too big, certain changes are too difficult, and certain transformations are impossible. But every so often, a life appears that quietly challenges those beliefs. A life that refuses to fit into the expectations that society creates. A life that continues moving forward even when logic says the path should have ended long ago. Your life carries that kind of energy. From the outside, people may only see pieces of your journey. They see moments of struggle, times when things seemed uncertain, periods where progress looked slow or invisible. They notice the obstacles that appeared in your path, the setbacks that interrupted your plans, and the moments when everything around you seemed to say that success was unlikely. Yet those same observers often overlook the most important detail. You continued moving forward. When others believed the story was over, you found the strength to write another chapter. When circumstances tried to convince you that your potential had limits, your spirit kept pushing beyond what was expected. Even when the road became quiet and lonely, something inside you refused to abandon the path you were walking. That quiet determination is not ordinary. It is evidence that your life carries a deeper purpose. There are moments in history when one person's journey changes the way others see what is possible. A single life becomes a symbol that the boundaries people believed in were never truly real. The moment someone rises from hardship and creates something meaningful, a new door opens in the minds of everyone watching. Suddenly the impossible begins to look different. Suddenly the word limit begins to lose its power. Your experiences are shaping you into that kind of symbol. Every challenge you have survived has added strength to the message your life carries. Each obstacle that once looked overwhelming eventually became another step in your growth. What once felt like delays or detours slowly revealed themselves as preparation, building resilience, patience, and wisdom that cannot be learned any other way. Many people dream about change but stop the moment difficulty appears. They imagine greatness, but retreat when the journey demands sacrifice. They believe in miracles only when the outcome feels comfortable and predictable. Your path has shown a different kind of truth. Real transformation often begins in moments that feel uncertain. Real strength is born when someone continues forward even when they cannot see the full picture ahead. The most powerful breakthroughs often emerge from seasons that once looked like failure or confusion. You have already walked through those seasons. There were days when you questioned everything. Days when your progress felt invisible. Days when it seemed easier to surrender than to keep believing that your efforts mattered. But even during those moments, your story did not stop moving. Something unseen kept guiding your steps. Something greater than fear kept encouraging your heart to keep going. The world may not always recognize those invisible victories, but they matter more than people realize. Each moment you refuse to quit strengthened the example your life provides to others who are still struggling to believe in their own potential. Your journey speaks without needing words. It tells people that setbacks do not define the final outcome. It reminds them that strength often grows quietly during the most difficult chapters of life. It shows that faith can survive even when circumstances appear discouraging. And slowly, through your persistence, another truth began.
And slowly, through your persistence,
realms to reveal itself. Possibility is not reserved for a small group of fortunate people. Possibility is unlocked by those who continue walking forward when the world expects them to stop. Your life carries the evidence that determination can outlast doubt, that courage can rise from uncertainty, and that the human spirit can overcome challenges that once seemed far too large to face. The path you have been walking was never meant to look easy. From the beginning, your journey carried a weight that many people around you could never fully understand. And while others move through life with predictable patterns and familiar comfort, your story unfolded with unexpected turns, difficult lessons, and moments that tested every part of your spirit. There were seasons when you felt completely alone in your struggles. You looked around and wondered why your road seemed filled with obstacles while others appeared to move forward without resistance. It felt like you were constantly being pushed into situations that required more strength, more patience, and more faith than you thought you possessed. Yet something remarkable continued to happen. Every time life attempted to break you, you discovered a strength that you did not know existed within you. Each time the pressure increased, your spirit adjusted and became stronger. What once looked like unbearable weight slowly transformed into a training ground where resilience began to grow. The truth is that lives with deep purpose rarely follow simple paths. The individuals who eventually become examples of possibility are often the same people who faced the most intense preparation. Pressure shapes character. Difficulty reveals hidden strength. Moments that feel like setbacks often become the very experiences that develop the wisdom needed for the future. Your story carries the marks of that preparation. Think about the moment. He seemed uncertain. The days when plans collapsed, when opportunities disappeared, when people doubted your ability to continue. Those were the times when your spirit was quietly being refined. Every challenge forced you to look deeper within yourself, to discover patience where frustration once lived, and to find courage where fear once tried to take control. Many people never encounter those levels of pressure because their journeys are not meant to carry the same responsibility. A life that becomes an example for others must pass through situations that reveal what true perseverance looks like. Without the storms, the strength would remain hidden. Without the obstacles, the growth would never reach its full potential. There were also moments when you questioned the meaning behind your experiences. You wondered why the path ahead felt unclear while others seemed to move forward with certainty. Doubt appeared quietly, asking whether all the effort was truly leading somewhere meaningful. It was easy to believe that perhaps the struggles were simply random difficulties without any deeper purpose. But the pattern of your survival tells a different story. Every situation that once looked like the end eventually became another chapter in your growth. Each moment that seemed impossible slowly transformed into proof that you were stronger than you once believed. Even when you felt exhausted, something within you kept pushing forward, refusing to allow your journey to end in defeat. That inner persistence reveals something powerful about the nature of your life. Your spirit carries a resilience that cannot easily be destroyed. It continues rising even when circumstances become difficult. It keeps searching for hope even when the world appears uncertain. And through every experience you have faced, that resilience has grown stronger. The world often misunderstands people walking this kind of path. From the outside, others may see only the struggles and assume that those challenges represent failure or misfortune. They may not recognize that those very struggles are building the strength required for a much larger purpose. You have been learning lessons that cannot be taught through comfort. Patience developed during long periods of waiting. Courage strengthened during moments when fear seemed overwhelming. Wisdom formed through experiences that forced you to see life from deeper perspectives. Each of those qualities adds another layer to the example your life is becoming. People searching for inspiration rarely look toward stories that were easy from beginning to end. They search for lives that prove endurance is possible, lives that demonstrate how perseverance can transform hardship into strength. They search for reminders that even the most difficult circumstances can become stepping stones toward something meaningful. Your journey has already begun creating that reminder.
Every step you take forward, every moment you refuse to surrender, quietly builds a message that others will eventually recognize.
A message that strength grows through pressure, that faith can survive uncertainty, and that perseverance can carry a person through storms that once seemed impossible to survive. There comes a moment in the life of every chosen soul when the pieces of their journey begin to make sense. For a long time, everything may have looked scattered and confusing, like separate events with no connection. The struggles, the delays, the moments of isolation, the sudden changes in direction. Each experience seemed like a random chapter that did not belong to the same story. But slowly, something deeper begins to reveal itself. You start to notice that every difficult season carried a lesson. Every unexpected obstacle forced you to develop a strength you did not know you needed. Every time the path became unclear, it pushed you to trust your inner voice more than the noise around you. Your journey was never random. There were periods when life felt quiet and slow, almost as if nothing meaningful was happening. You watched others celebrate victories while you were still waiting for answers. It felt like time itself was moving differently for you, as if your life was unfolding at a pace that the world around you could not understand. In those moments, doubt tried to creep into your mind. Questions appeared again and again. Why does the path feel so delayed? Why do the struggles seem heavier? Why does it feel like the universe is asking more from you than from others? Yet hidden inside those questions was a truth that would only reveal itself with time. Your life has been developing depth. While many people move quickly through experiences without fully growing from them, your journey has required patience, reflection, and transformation. Each stage demanded that you evolve into a stronger version of yourself before the next chapter could appear. Growth like that cannot be rushed. It unfolds through experiences that challenge the way you think, the way you respond to pressure, and the way you understand your own potential. You were not simply moving from one moment to the next. You were being shaped by everything that happened along the way. The loneliness you once felt taught you independence. The setbacks you experienced taught you resilience. The moments when you felt misunderstood taught you how to trust your own vision, even when others could not see it yet. Every part of the journey added another layer to your character. There were also times when the world seemed to question your path. People around you may have offered advice based on what they believed was realistic. They encouraged you to choose the safer road, to follow expectations that felt more comfortable and predictable. But something inside you always resisted that pressure. Deep within your spirit, there was a quiet understanding that your life was not meant to follow ordinary patterns. Even when you could not fully explain it, you felt the pull towards something greater than routine success or simple approval from others. That inner pull has been guiding you from the beginning. It is the same force that kept you moving forward when circumstances became difficult. It is the same energy that refused to let your dreams disappear, even when the path toward them seemed uncertain. And it is the same quiet voice that continues reminding you that your story still has chapters waiting to unfold. The experiences you have already faced have given you a perspective that many people never develop. You have seen how quickly situations can change. You have learned how strength can emerge from unexpected places. You have witnessed the way perseverance can transform moments that once looked like failure into valuable turning points. That perspective changes the way you move through life. Instead of fearing challenges, you begin to recognize them as part of your preparation. Instead of doubting your ability to endure, you remember the countless times you have already overcome obstacles that once seemed impossible. Your past becomes evidence of your capacity to rise again. Every lesson you have gathered along the way continues shaping the person you are becoming, the patience you developed during long seasons of waiting, the courage that grew when you faced uncertainty, the wisdom that formed through reflection and perseverance. Each of these qualities strengthens the foundation of the life you are building. And as your story continues unfolding, the pattern that once seemed confusing slowly reveal a deeper design, one where every challenge, every delay, and every quiet moment of growth has been preparing you for the responsibilities and opportunities that still lie ahead. There is something powerful about a life that refuses to surrender. Not the kind of power that appears loud or dramatic, but the quiet strength that keeps moving forward even when the road is filled with uncertainty. That strength grows slowly, built through experiences that most people would never choose, yet those very experiences become the foundation of a story that proves possibility is real. Your life carries the marks of that kind of strength. Think about the distance you have already traveled, the moments when circumstances seemed overwhelming, the situations that looked impossible to overcome. At the time, each challenge felt like a barrier standing directly in your path. something that threatened to stop your progress completely. Yet every time the pressure increased, you adapted. Every time the weight grew heavier, you discovered another level of endurance within yourself. Situations that once seemed unbearable slowly became part of your history, reminders of battles you faced and survived. Those memories are not simply moments from the past. They are evidence of the resilience that lives within you. Most people never fully recognize the strength they carry until life demands it from them. When everything is comfortable, that hidden potential remains quiet. But when obstacles appear and the path becomes uncertain, something deeper begins to awaken. That awakening has been happening in your life again and again. Each challenge you faced forced you to grow stronger than the version of yourself that existed before. Every disappointment taught you something new about patience and determination. Even the moments that felt like failures were quietly teaching lessons that would become valuable later. Journey has been building a message without you even realizing it. While the world often celebrates instant success and visible victories, the most powerful stories are usually formed in the background, during the quiet seasons when perseverance is the only thing keeping someone moving forward. Those are the seasons where character is formed and where belief is tested. You have walked through those seasons. There were days when you felt exhausted from carrying responsibilities and expectations that seemed too heavy. There were nights when your thoughts questioned whether the effort you were making would ever lead to something meaningful. Uncertainty surrounded you at times, making it difficult to see what the future might hold. But even in those moments, you continued. Something inside your spirit refused to allow the journey to end and surrender. Even when the path looked unclear, you kept taking steps forward. Even when the results were not immediately visible, you continued believing that your efforts mattered. That persistence is one of the clearest signs that your life carries a deeper purpose. Because a person who continues moving forward despite doubt becomes a living example of possibility for everyone who witnesses their journey. Your experiences show that strength does not come from avoiding difficulty, but from learning how to rise again after every challenge. Each time you faced adversity and chose not to give up, you added another layer to that example. People searching for hope often look for proof that change is possible. They want to see someone who has endured hardship and still found the courage to keep building their future. They want to know that their own struggles do not have to define the rest of their lives. Your story quietly answers those questions. It shows that setbacks can become preparation. It shows that uncertainty can lead to growth. It shows that a determined spirit can move through obstacles that once looked permanent. Every step you have taken through hardship has strengthened the message your life carries. A message that reminds others that their own potential may be far greater than they realize. A message that challenges the belief that limits are permanent. Your journey has already demonstrated something powerful about the nature of perseverance. The strength that develops when someone continues forward through doubt, through pressure, and through moments when giving up would seem easier than continuing. Then through every challenge you have overcome, your life continues to stand as quiet proof that even the most difficult paths can lead to possibilities far beyond what anyone once believed could happen.